Chords and Coffee, number 50. Can't believe it, 50. Was it SNL, Molly Shannon? I'm 50! Anyway, Chords and Coffee is now 50 episodes old, and I need your help. I need your help. We got 52 coming up, and 52 will mark a full year of doing this wonderful Saturday morning tradition that we have invented together. So thank you for your comments, and thank you for all your encouragement just throughout all these episodes. But what I need to know is, what do y'all want to do for episode number 52? What do you want to do to make it special? Should we do a live thing? Should we... I don't know. Everything's on the table. I can't do anything without, physics, space, time, gravity, that kind of stuff. But outside of that, let's think outside of the box here for episode 52. So think about it. Put your comments in the main comment section for episode 52. What do you guys want to do? We're 2 episodes away. We got time to kind of figure it out. And again, thank you. The most encouraging guitar support group probably on the internet is happening right here. So thank y'all so much. Last episode on 49, we had talked about a reharmonization of O Come Emmanuel. And I did that episode, and then after I watched it, I kind of thought I really didn't discuss the how-to. I just kind of gave you an example of one. And so with this episode, I really want to do a little bit more of a deep dive into some theory as well as just kind of how I'm thinking about stuff, okay? So first off, when it comes to reharmonization, there's a couple things I usually think about. Number one, I don't have to reharm the whole tune. I don't have to change the entire thing. Sometimes it's cool too, and I'm just going to flip through some, Christmas stuff here. We might take a look at something like that, but first up, this is the one we did last time. O Come Emmanuel. Now, I put another piece of a song in there, and so that, sort of counts as messing with the tune, but it wasn't technically a reharmonization. In fact, if you look at this chart that is in this book, and this is the book we talked about, you can get these at Palen Music, and it's by Hal Leonard. It's called The Real Christmas Book, and I'd recommend getting some Christmas books because those songs are going to come around every single year, and you're going to always find occasions where, even if it's just for your own family, but there'll be things that come up where it's good to have a few Christmas tunes in the pocket, and especially ones that have a special arrangement to them. So on this O Come Emmanuel, just looking at this chart, O come, Emmanuel. There was a couple things I didn't like. Sorry. You guys are awesome. But whoever arranged this, John Neal and Harry Coffin, but I didn't care for the what is it? Oh come, that one. That E7 flat 9 right there. But that's the way they did it, and that's the way they did it, and that's fine. Emmanuel. I liked that. And ransom captive Israel. That's okay. I kind of did that more or less. That mourns in lonely exile here. That, I didn't do that exactly, and I definitely didn't do until the Son of God appears. Now listen to this. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Thank you for tolerating the singing. So, on the rejoice, da-da, I liked the sound of just going to D major, rejoice. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch episode number 49. And I play this arrangement, how I came up with it. So that D note, I felt like the B was a little too, almost kind of pensive, passive. And I like the strength of rejoice. Then rejoice. Now, this one sharp, right, is the key of E minor, G. They share that same key signature. When I hit that D, I remember thinking, well, okay, what would happen if I went down to an A minor? like, thinking like we're in D major and then A minor, like minor 5, or thinking of it as, an A minor to D to G, like a 2-5, right? But it's sort of backwards. Rejoice, rejoice. And when I went to that A minor 9, which is an A minor with a B on it, I remember thinking, what would happen if I could get to Emmanuel, to C major 7? I'm already on this A minor 9. If I can get to C major 7, well, how can I get to C major 7? A 2-5. What's a 2-5 to C? Well, it's D minor, G to C. It really helps when you're doing this reharmonization thinking, if you know how chords are spelled, and if you know the chords that belong to a key, and more importantly, what their function is in that key. Because songs don't care about music harmony. They really don't. Songs care about sounding good, stirring the emotion and the spirit of folks that are listening, and hopefully, more importantly, bringing people together. That's what songs should care about. That being said, music theory just helps us to arrive at all the options that we have quick, and then also to be able to explain that to whoever. Music theory is intelligence, and then wisdom is knowing when and where to use it, and also being able to explain that to the folks that play by ear, the folks that only play by looking at music, and the folks that are all in between, right? So with that, when I got to rejoice, rejoice, there's the melody. Well, A to C, well, what has an A and a C in it that can get me to the C major? Again, the 2-5, so D minor, E, and then G, and so I stumbled into, I wanted to get to the C major 7. That was my target. Why? Well, because I just like the way it sounded right there, and also because of the rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel. I liked that little unresolved feeling that the A minor 9 was already giving me, and the C major 7 is just one note different. We need to add the C, take away the A, right? You with me? Comment below if you're like, too fast! Anyway, Emmanuel. That's all it was. That got me to where I was going. So I ended up stumbling on that 2-5 to get to that C. And then as for the rest of this chart, I'm kind of more or less when I do it, I did a more simplified version. This is a little more jazzy, but it's a good chart. It's a very good chart. Let's see what else we got here. So we're entering into dangerous territory because I've got the camera rolling and I'm just flipping through the pages here. What about Have a Holly Jolly Christmas? That's at the beginning of Die Hard, right? That Christmas movie. What a strange Christmas movie, but an awesome one. Die Hard. Anyway, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. That's what they're calling for, and by golly, that sounds great. Honestly, I don't know that I would mess with this too much. However, if principle of reharmonization, at least the way that I cook with this is, the first thing is I wouldn't add a whole bunch of spice to every tune. I might just change one little part, like an O Come, Emmanuel we just did. And then in this one, I might not change anything until we get to an instrumental, just to give the instrumental, because they're going to, do the, they're going to play that melody again, or wherever it is. They're just going to play the melody of the tune, right? And so with that being said, what can I do to put a different color on that without them having to, change their whole deal? And by them, I mean if I'm playing with another instrumentalist, or maybe I'm playing the solo and I'm saying, hey guys, when you get to the solo, can we play these chords? So what do we got? So we got Holly Jolly Christmas. So C, C, B, B, A, E. I'm just reading that super simple little melody right there, right? So obviously we want to start with a C, and then on that B, B, we could do C major 7. and then C6. That's not really different enough because that's what if we went to E minor, A minor? Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. You could do that, or what if we went yeah. So what if we went C, have a holly, and then E minor jolly. There's that B, and then for Christmas, we're gonna go to G minor 9 to C9. So like a 2-5 back to the F. So there's a 2-5 again. So how about that? Just if you're going from one chord to the next, see if you can shove a 2-5 to get to that next chord, which in this case would be F, and then F sharp diminished 7 to G, right? So C to E minor, you know E minor, and then this little G9 thing here, this is middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, skipping the A, and then ring finger holding down the G, the B, and the high E on the 3rd fret straight across, but with the little pinky coming up on the fret number 5 of the high E, and then take it off when you go to the C9. On the C9, ring finger still doing what he was doing before on the G, B, and the E on the 3rd fret, and then middle finger is on the A string of the 3rd fret, and then index is on the 2nd fret of the D. So have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. So that was a whole different thing. So F, just good old, this is bar chord F. I'm doing it because I'm kind of chunking on the low strings. I'm doing the full voicing here. You don't have to. You could do this. You could do a power chord. Lame. You can do that. And then this guy right here, this is your F sharp diminished here. And so you've got middle finger on the 2nd fret of the E, skipping the A, index fingers laying across the D, the G, and the B of the 1st fret, and then ring finger is on the 2nd fret of the G, and then there's the whole thing, not playing the high E. If I was, I'd put my pinky on the 2nd fret of the high E, but it just happens so fast, it's not worth the risk. Risk aversion, also part of reharmonization. So, best time of the year. And then for this next part where you're basically sitting on a G7 for a while, you can just do D minor 7. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of tea. And all that was is D minor 7 to G7. So a 2-5 again, but have a cup of tea. Cup of, that right there was right before the C. I'm doing this is like a B diminished 7 where you've got your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A, and then your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the D, index is on the 1st fret of the G, and then pinky is on the 3rd fret of the B. So much about this is just having chords that lead you in to the next chord and leading tones. Frequently there's some chromatic movement, but also it might be just setting up, like in the case of that G minor 9 to C9 to F major, just setting up the new chord, you know, with the little 2-5 right there. So let's see what else we got here. Flipping through the book. How about, oh, here you go. Go Tell It on the Mountain. Go Tell It on the Mountain. Frequently, this song gets the Go Tell It on the Mountain, over the hills and yeah. Gets the funky country kind of sassy treatment, which is cool. But what's interesting is that in this book, look, they got a G major 7, C major 7. They got more of kind of a straight up major as opposed to like a dominant 7 kind of vibe. If you want me to talk about a dominant 7 bluesy funky version of this, comment in the comments. I'm always telling you to comment just because if I don't tell you, I'll forget. So that's why I'm doing that. But comment below and I'll do it. But this is Go Tell It on the Mountain, over the hills and yeah. Okay, hold that thought. Okay, so first of all, G major 7, C major 7. This is one where, again, I might just do just a little bit more of an embellished chord. So G major 7. This is like the B minor shape, but I've got my index finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. So you've got index finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, skipping the A, ring finger on the 4th fret of the D, pinky on the 4th fret of the G, and then middle finger on the 3rd fret of the D. Okay, go, and then I would go to this major 9. If you're, 20s to early 30s, when you think about this chord, you think of John Mayer. No such thing chord. And I love John Mayer, but for the rest of us, we just major 9. And so 3rd fret A string, middle finger, 2nd fret D string, 2nd fret D string, and then pinky on the 4th fret of the G, and then ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B. And we're already starting to develop a little theme here. You've got G major 7, C9, this D, watch this, and then B minor 7, that D again, and then this E minor 7, I might do this guy. We've talked about this one before. Index finger across the 2nd fret from the A to the high E, middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B, and then G is open or being caught by the bar, and then pinky on the 5th fret of the D, and then over. And so I would convert that A minor 7 to an A11. Why? Because now I have a D note in every single chord. Why is that cool? Well, going back to just a little dabble do you sometimes on a reharm, it might be cool just to have a D, especially, again, if I'm playing with somebody else and they're going, or now if you imagine that over, right? If you imagine that over all of this, that would be kind of a cool spice to throw in there, because it's that D is a 5 over G, it's a 9 over C, it's the minor 3rd over B, it is the flat 7 over the E, it's the 11 on the A, and so it's kind of nice little spice with minimal effort, right? So A minor 11, we've done that chord a million times. Comment below if you want me to do it again. I love you. And then D sus4. This is just like a regular, D7 bar chord where index fingers cross the A string to the high E string on the 5th fret. Your ring finger is on the 7th fret. Your pinky of the ring finger is on the 7th fret of the D. Your pinky is going to be on the 8th fret of the B. And then this is going to resolve to D9. Now, do you see that? Right there. That's calling for, let's see, every good boy. Everywhere. I've always heard it, go till it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere, like that. And that is a cool moment right there for a little reharm action, because if you've got everywhere, you could do C or C to C, like play that little E to the D over the C major 9, or you could do everywhere, F major 7 to F6, or you could go everywhere. That's a little spicier. Everywhere. I like that, because that also starts to feel like it's got some legs beyond that moment. So what is that? So when I did this, think of this as a C over F to a B flat over E flat, right? And if you take a C chord, C, E, G, and put an F in the bass, you've basically got C is the fifth of F, E is the major 7, and G is the ninth of F. So you've got like this F major 9, but it doesn't have the major 3rd in it, which is kind of an interesting little grip. That's all. So index finger on the 8th fret of the A, pinky on the 10th fret of the D, ring finger on the 9th fret of the G, and then middle finger on the 8th fret of the B, and then slide that whole sheboing down a whole step where you've got your index finger on the 8th fret of the A, pinky is on the, index finger's on the 6th fret of the A, pinky is on the 8th fret of the D, ring finger is on the 7th fret of the G, and then middle finger is on the 6th fret of the B. So, over the hills and everywhere I go. And then right here, they have the same thing, but what would happen if you went, go tell it on the mountains that Jesus Christ is born. Yeah, or there's some coolness right there. So what I did was go tell. I did so the G major 7 to the A minor 11. Again, the D note is being emphasized, and then to this chord right here, which there's that D again. Think of this as like a G5 over B, where you've got your ring finger on the 7th fret on the 7th fret of the low E, so playing the B note. You've got your index finger on the D string of the 5th fret playing the G, and then you've got your pinky on the G string of the 7th fret, right, playing that D. So go tell it on the mountain. Little E7, flat 9 to E7. You ever do that one? It's a pretty gospel-y common move. You've got your, so where we're going to is this Creedence Clearwater, this little, or Toadies, if you're a child of the 90s, right? What was that? A Possum Kingdom, that song? But anyway, you got this E7 where you've got your ring finger is on the 7th fret of the A, your middle finger is on the 6th fret of the D, your pinky is on the 7th fret of the G, and then your index is on the 5th fret of the B. That's the second chord, that's the E7. The chord preceding that, these two boogers right here stay right there in your nostrils. Just came to me, it's an interesting metaphor. And then you're going to flip these guys where you have your index finger is going to go to where your middle finger was, and then your middle finger on the D string of the 6th fret, and then now your middle finger is going to go on the 6th fret of the B, playing that F natural, and then to the E7. And all that is, this is a nice little to get to the A minor. But in this case, we might even go down to A minor 11. And that has all kinds of melody just woven into the chords. Jesus Christ is... You ever do this? This is C over D. It's the 4 chord over the 5 chord. It's a great reharmonization tool. Instead of using, your normal dominant 7/5 chord, like a D7 in this case, I'm just laying my index finger from the A string all the way to the high E across the 5th fret, and then to that G major 7. Now, I somehow like the song Broadway, boom, 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 George Benson. They say the neon lights are bright on. That kind of popped in my head right here. So that Jesus Christ is born. Or maybe, or there's a lot of cool ideas in there with that. So I was just going, Jesus Christ is G major 7 to F major 7, or G major 7 to this that we did before, back to G major 7, then to E flat, right? But mess with that. Maybe down to the C. Little major pentatonic there, little E minor pentatonic, making a G major pentatonic. You see what I'm saying? You're just taking these ideas and messing with them. You don't have to completely derail the entire tune, but a little dab will do you. A little, throwing in some cilantro where you normally have parsley. A little, maybe just adding just a different flavor, just a little bit, will make a huge difference in your reharm. So I hope that helps. Quick recap. You don't have to do the whole tune. You don't have to do the whole tune. Just find you one little spot, play the melody. With that melody, when you dissect it, what are those notes and what chords have those notes? And sometimes the chords that you're looking for are chords, while they may be from a different key, they are chords that lead you into the chord that you're trying to get to. Like in the case of O Come, Emmanuel, where even though we were in the key of G, where C belongs, we did a little 2-5 as though we were in the key of C to get to that C. So I borrowed some chords from another key that was a cousin to that key, right? The other principle we did is that when we do in Go Tell, we just had like one note that was in all those chords, that D note, right? And just that in of itself created a different little flavor. And then, of course, we added that, the F major 7 to the F major 9 to the E flat major 9. And then when we did Holly Jolly Christmas, what we did is we just changed one. We stayed strong on the melody, had holly jolly, and we just changed the undergirding chord structure to that melody, just to kind of lift it a little bit, give it a sort of reset the song, especially in a tune like that where you only have two parts, and then you have like the ending, right? So I hope that helps you. I hope also that this sort of conjures new questions that you might have about chords, reharmonization, and also, hey, listen, if we need to go back, and I'd be happy to do this, totally happy to do this, but if we need to go back and just say, Nate, let's start over and what are the chords that belong to a key? Let's start with that and, talk about the function of those chords. I'd be happy to do that. Look, we're creeping up on 1 full year of Chords and Coffee. I am very grateful that y'all have decided to take your time and come along on this journey with me. We're in this together. I'm really excited. I've got some cool things lined up for next year. I don't want to tell you about it, but I do want to tell you, I think you'll be glad that you'll be along for the ride, because there'll be, there's just some cool stuff coming up. So with that being said, before next year, be thinking and comment below, what do you want to do for episode number 52, the 1-year anniversary of Chords and Coffee. I sure do appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.